Okay. All right. So, this video. Oh, man. It's called, you know what? I'm not crazy. Because I tell you, I've been going crazy a bit in my life. And yeah, I know. I mean, and I've made some videos and shared that stuff. And, you know, I've certainly thought twice about posting some of them because it's like, you know, why do I do that? Because, you know, I guess it kind of thinks it's like, oh, well, you know, sometimes people leave rude comments and things like that. Say, oh, why do you, you know, I just thought about it. You know, it's just all in my own head. And it's like, because YouTube is a platform where people share their lives, you know, the things that they're going through. And I am a human being who is spiritually orientated, who is becoming a yogi, who is going through a process of, right? And so that is why I share all this stuff. I mean, and whatever other reasons, right? And so, yeah, and you know, it's funny just because like going through the whole thing, and then coming out the other side, like living in my car and like going traveling and all this kind of stuff that I've been doing and getting involved in, and then like living in these different places and just kind of being aloof, you know, like not really settled down for a long time, and then finally realize it's like, okay, that's got to stop. And then now it's all like kind of coming full circle, and it's just funny, you know, because like it wasn't long ago that I was just not questioning everything, but essentially fed up with the way certain things were going. And but now that I am on this path, I've found a really nice place to rent. I haven't heard back from the person, but I decided it's like, you know, I deserve something nice. I need a home. I need something that is peaceful, that is lovely, that is bright, that is safe, that is a joy to come home to, that I'm going to feel great staying up late and getting up early in. And, you know, you got to shell out a couple of bucks to do it, but it's like, you know what, this is like my platform to like be moving forward. It's like, I'll do whatever I got to do to make rent. Yeah. And so, and I need my own space too. It's not like renting a room is an option for myself. I mean, it's not what I would like. I can't see that. And I think if I did that, that's where the vision would disappear, because then all of a sudden I've compromised instead of like being like, no, this is what I need to really blast forward in my life. And I'm going to start, as a result, I'm going to keep my job so I don't have to jump ship. And I'm going to start a couple of side hustles that I have this yoga thing coming up. That's a side hustle that is been coming down the pipeline for a while, but now it's really, I'm about to start teaching classes in the next couple of weeks. So that's a beautiful thing, but it takes time. And so I'm going to start a couple of businesses, one or two for sure, maybe three, right? Because you never know. And then you have these multiple sources of income, and that makes a big difference. You know, I know I've heard about a guy that he has some handyman, my buddy's buddy, and he just has an ad that he runs on Craigslist or whatever, and he's like, he makes like 10-15 grand a year doing it. You know, it's just a side hustle, but I mean, that kind of money helps. Yeah, so like, and why not, right? I mean, if you're after something, I mean, and you can use the money, why not? So anyways, pretty cool. Yeah, and you know, I was a little bit ashamed of not ashamed, but you know, like some of the stuff that I go through, because it's challenging. It's like, why should I even post this stuff? It's just like, maybe I should just keep it to myself. And it's like, no, it's real. I mean, why be ashamed of the process that I'm going through as a human being on planet Earth, trying to figure out how to find my way? I mean, that is so normal. It's so like the human story, you know, everybody's doing that. So yeah, I'm going to keep up with it. And I even had a, you know, sometimes I was thinking about, like, it's like, why do I even do this YouTube stuff? You know, it's taken so much time and energy and money that I've invested in it, and you know, and sometimes it's just like, but then I was watching so like there's in my downtime when I was like feeling a little depressed, YouTube is a thing you can entertain yourself with, and living in a car is kind of what you got, your phone and a little bit of YouTube, or I do anyways. And so I don't know how it came up, but there's this dude, and he's like, it's like beard meets food, and it's a guy that he's got a big beard, and he eats food. He does like challenges where they say it's like you eat the whole thing, you get it for free, or this or that. You get a T-shirt, and he goes all over to all these places. I saw one where he was in like Denmark or Norway or somewhere, right? Somewhere like that, in that area of the world. And he was eating some challenge, doing his thing, and somebody was like, just like, hey, they came up to him and they said, oh wow, it's you. And then he's like, yeah. And he was super polite, super helpful. And this girl, she's just like, yeah, I just started my own YouTube channel. And she's like, I just posted my first video. And it's like good for you, right? Super nice guy. And so she says, is there any advice that you would give a person? And of course, there's a lot of ways that a person could take that, right? And, and what he said really hit home for me. He said, if you have integrity, if your channel is about something, you believe in it, stick with it. He's like, I've been doing this for 10 years and it's just taken off now. It takes time, and it's tough in the beginning because I'm quoting him essentially, right? Or paraphrasing, where he's like, because in the beginning, nobody's watching. I have videos that I've poured my heart and soul into that took like weeks to produce, that I wrote manuscripts to, that I thought that it was just like, oh man, this is going to be the one, that I made soundtracks to, that I, like all this stuff. And then like 6 people watched it, or maybe didn't, or maybe nobody watched it and 6 people just clicked through it because I don't know, right? So it's challenging, but I mean, it was just really nice to say, because it's like, integrity is something that I do have, and I do believe in sharing the message of spiritual stuff that I've come across in my life that has just been super invaluable to me. I'm very grateful for that, and I just pass it on. I've received a gift, and it's not just for myself, so I share. Yeah. And so, I guess I just want to make this video because it's like, it's just been such a journey, and it has been challenging, and it has been rough. It has been like, at times I've wanted to give up, and I don't just mean YouTube. I don't just like, there's things that I'm doing with yoga. Sometimes it's like, man, what am I doing? Is this ever going to pan out? But as soon as I started down this path of like, I went inside, which is depression, right? I went inside because I wasn't finding the answers I needed outside. So I went inside, and something welled up, and I started figuring it out. It's like, I need to not live in my car. I need to get everything out of storage. And, and then as soon as I started working all these lines, it's like the vision, like my vision reappeared in front of me. I could see my path. I could tell where I was going, and things started to make sense. And then everything started to click, including finding a place. And it's like, okay, am I going to compromise on a place, or am I going to get something nice? Because I'm going to spend a lot of time there. I'm going to finish writing my book there. I'm going to practice yoga there. I might have people over there. I don't want some dingy little place. I don't want some hole in the wall. I don't want something with a little 2-foot window with, outdated, like I work in flooring, so I'm a bit of a floor snob, but I'm not a fan of cheap flooring. It's just that. And so, and it's just and then I've been, because I'm in this positive state now, I've come through some stuff. I'm on the other side of my dark night of the soul and existential crises, and just like freaking out, being angry and feeling sorry for myself. And on the other side of all of that stuff it's like I've started talking with people, and it's like I keep receiving these insights about how, like, I made a video about how I had this throat chakra opening, and it's like I just felt so driven. It's just like I want to connect with people. I want to help create community and all this kind of stuff. And I'm going to start doing way more, and I'm going to start reaching out, and if people reach back, that's cool. I'm just trying to say this right. And so it was like, yeah, I want to do that. But then, I had all this enthusiasm. I had all of this, like, this drive, but then the weight of my world crushed me. I was like, oh my God, I live in a car, and it's like I'm struggling in all these, pardon me, areas. How am I ever going to do that? And then I felt embarrassed because I made a YouTube video about it. I told my sister, my cousin Wuzzy, and my dad and his partner and my other buddy. That's okay, because he accepts me for who I am, and I know that, because right? I mean, I get a little excited about things sometimes, but anyways. And it felt silly. I was like, man, I wish I'd kind of kept that to myself. It reminded me of, like, back in the day when I used to frequent plant medicine more. And there are times after a ceremony when it's best to not send anybody any messages. It's best to not call people. It's best to not go making statements and saying things and sharing your revelations and on and on and on. You keep that to yourself. And that's how I felt. I was like, holy cow, I overshared here. I don't know where this came from. I feel silly, and I was embarrassed. But now that this has all unfolded, where it's like I'm actually really feel like I'm on my path, like I always was, and I know that, right? But it was just feeling a little, I was going through a dark night of the soul, right? A challenging time. And so, but now, and so, yeah, anyways, the point is that now, all of a sudden, it's really, like, even like that idea of creating community and stuff like that, and it's starting to really make sense. And it's like, no, that didn't come out of nowhere. That wasn't just some high idea, for what it's worth. It wasn't just some, like, some fantasy, some silly dream that I concocted up, that I just got, like, it came from somewhere more than that. And I know that it does, this dream with community and with connecting people in a community, and how, like, yoga ties in with that for me, because it does. And just like, it's been a really beautiful unfolding, this process, because it's like, oh, okay, no, that wasn't silliness, that was real. And now that I'm on this path, I'm getting all these insights about how to actually implement it. And I'm, like, collaborating with other people, and it's just like, piece by piece. And it just feels good to, be at a place where it's like, I'm not crazy. I'm not. Yeah. Sometimes it seems like it. Sometimes it feels like it. Sometimes I can't tell, if I'm eccentric or overzealous or out to lunch, on one, But here I am, after a lot of endeavoring with a lot of things in my life, with writing a book, with this yoga thing, with this van and all. And it's like, this new place I'm looking at even has 2 parking spots. So it's just like, man, it just reminds me of that, and like that, of that Beard Meets Food dude, where it's just like, persist, don't give up. It's easy to give up. It's easy to throw in the towel and settle. It's easy to just be like, I'm done, surrender to life. But that's, I mean, it's talking along different kind of lines, right? But like, yeah, it's easy to, to give up on yourself, and I felt like doing that. I guess that's why I'm making this video right now, because I'm just saying, it's just like, man, I felt like giving up a week ago. I was just like, I'm done, like I'm not gonna kill myself, but I feel like I'm done, if I just keeled over now, I'd be like, fine, sweet release, I'm happy, and yeah, and of course, yeah, I mean, that's not at all what I want, but it's just that feeling sometimes where it's just like, I'm fed up. The weight of my world is crushing me, and I don't know what to do. I'm out of strength. I am drowning here. I barely have my head above the water, and I'm just getting pulled up under. There's a riptide. There's undercurrents, and it's like, no matter what I do, I just keep on getting dragged out to sea, and I'm choking on salt water, and I got crustaceans up my nose, and you know what I mean? So just, yeah, I guess, like, just to wrap up this video is just because I know that I'm not the only one who's going through challenges, right? And certainly I got a buddy who's maybe going to be getting divorced. Yeah. And no, I'm just making a video.
Okay.
Yeah, anyways, so this isn't my space. This is my dad's house. Yeah, just don't give up is the point, right? I'm glad I didn't, because here I am, and it's kind of come full circle. So don't give up.